15 million learners are expected to resume learning on Monday, that is in primary and secondary schools across the country. And as the Education Ministry works on streamlining the disrupted school calendar occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, parents are decrying the heavy burden of school fees and numerous school requirements needed within a short period of time. Elfas Lagat reports on developments in the education sector, including introduction of a new cohort of grade 5 learners under the competence-based curriculum.
The reopening of schools Monday morning presents headache to many parents across the country. It is a new term, and with it comes unprecedented demand for school materials including books, uniforms, and more critically, school fees.
1 week was quite a short time in terms of space and in terms of looking for school fees and even being able to prepare our kids thoroughly to go back to school.
Queues formed outside multiple bookstores in Nairobi, indicating the rush among parents to get their children ready for the reopening. They have to dig deeper into their pockets amidst the reality of insufficient funds and economic strain to sustain their livelihoods and the educational needs of their children.
Managed to buy actually 11 books. So in total, purchased 22 books because they are twins. So it's been hectic, very hectic weekend in terms of shopping.
For the first time since the school calendar was disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic, 15 million learners in primary and secondary schools will be resuming learning amidst concerns about their safety, where social distancing to a large extent will be hard to achieve.
We have different times of different timetables running that allows them to go at different times. So we don't just push learners, all of them outside, but we have a timetable that runs that they go out in intervals, and this one gives space and time for the learners.
We are not quite emphasizing social distancing. But in relation to that, we are discouraging activities that will involve physical contacts. That's why so far we haven't begun actively participating in games.
The first cohort of grade 5 learners are for the first time going to school in the ongoing phased rollout of the competence-based curriculum. The director at the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Professor Charles Ongondo, says the necessary curriculum designs are ready and it is all systems go for grade 5 rollout.
We have what we call curriculum designs, which is what people used to call syllabuses for all the schools. This has been supplied to all the schools in the country. We have made a departure from grade 5 because of COVID. Now every subject will have its own curriculum design. For the 2021 academic year, government released 59.4 billion shillings to secondary schools and 15.2 billion shillings to primary schools. Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha last week urging school heads to allow parents sufficient time to pay school fees instead of sending children away when the schools reopen. But just how many are agreeable to this arrangement?
And as you are aware, we have already dressed down that school fee by a proportion because the terms are going to be reduced from 39 to 30 weeks. Mine is to encourage our parents who can afford to pay early so that those who can pay a little bit later are able to run the school. Because even when you have your child at home, the fee is for feeding and sleeping.
For the time being, schools will be required to observe COVID-19 safety protocols, mainly having hand-washing points, learners expected to wear masks, with the Teachers Service Commission expected to provide status of teachers' preparedness for the full reopening of schools in the 2021 academic calendar year. All learners will be resuming school amidst the COVID-19 pandemic and sweeping reforms in the education sector. Now, authorities and relevant stakeholders in the sector will be facing an enormous task to ensure safety of learners. Elfas Lagat, Citizen TV, Nairobi.